Happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Fru Nde Nkimben. I am the host and coordinator of African Hour. African Hour has been on the air since 2000, and we bring guests to share their knowledge, inform, and educate our audience. A disclaimer, African Hour does not control the views of our guests. So the views and ideas expressed on African Hour are those of our guests, and African Hour has no control over. So today's guest is very unique because for once we have a guest from Cameroon, all the way from Cameroon, and all my guests are from the mother continent. From Cameroon, we have Reverend Gustave Tabi Ebai, and also we have from the tip of the continent down south, Professor Gabila Newborn, who was the facilitator of the summit that we held in South Africa exactly 1 month ago. This would be a post-conference review to explain to our audience why was the conference and what happened at the conference, what did we achieve at the conference, and to look for a way forward as to how we can permanently bring a peaceful solution to the crisis that is rocking our country. So I will open it now for each of you to introduce yourself and say a little bit to my audience so that they know a little bit about yourself and where you are coming from.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your program from Cameroon. I hope my network will be stable throughout this hour. But we have to trust that our connection doesn't break sometime. So I hope it works. I am Reverend Gustave Tabi Ebai. I am a pastor and I am a consultant, a training consultant in the areas of religion and governance, religion and conflict transformation, religions and human rights, and dealing with trauma and dealing with the past. These are the areas in which I focus in peace mediation, in helping build out the role that religion can help in resolving conflict in our context, and the role that religion can help to help our people recover from the pains and the scars of whatever conflict we are having. So since 2011, I've been working in the area of peace work and peace building in Cameroon. And by the grace of God, I've been able to acquire the experience from different continents and shared experience, and came back to work with our own country and our Council of Protestant Churches. And now I do trainings with civil society organizations and help facilitate strategies and entry point development on how to navigate the stalemate, the violent stalemate in the conflict that has affected our people. Because let us not fool ourselves, it has been a stalemate for a while now, where things are just standing and people are suffering, and once in a while there is sporadic violence, like in the last week, the last couple of weeks, and then there is more violence again, counter violence, and then our people suffer for a while. So my passion is that it's working with religious structures, working with civil society structures to be able to advocate with government and all stakeholders and parties in a way of giving our people peace, justice, and development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to have you from the ground. You are the eyes and ears, and you are the one who can really give us a good picture, and we'll look forward to your contribution. Professor Newborn, thank you for, I know how difficult and it could be to arrange a summit like the one that we just had. And first of all, I would like to thank the South African delegation, and I would pass it over to you so that you can tell our viewers a little bit about South Africa, and also let us know why you chose to organize this summit. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Papa Kimeng, for the opportunity to be on your platform. Good evening to you, to your audience. Good evening to Reverend Ebai, whom I had the pleasure of meeting in Johannesburg as one of the people who came from Cameroon, and we're part of that delegation that came from home. I'm Gabila Nubong. I'm a political economist by training, and I happen to be also lecturing at the university. And within the context of our ongoing conflict, I would just say concerned citizen. I have been involved in several different initiatives in the past, trying to see how to find solutions, lasting solutions, permanent solution to our plight and the challenge that we're facing as a people. And I was particularly privileged in this instance to have been part of a team of people who have conceived or was pulled in to help with the implementation of this idea of a summit in South Africa. And South Africa could not have been there could not have been a better, more suitable destination than South Africa for such an event as a country, given its own history, its own past, with its an experience with dealing with situations of conflict between and among citizens, and navigating the difficulties of finding workable solutions that leads towards the establishment of a constitutional democracy that creates a free, inclusive society where the interests and the desires of each component of the society seeks to be accommodated. So they do have the practical experience of moving from conflict to the construction of a post-conflict democratic society. It has its issues. It's not a perfect society by any stretch of the imagination, but it is nothing short of a miracle to see that they could come from a place where, as citizens, they were at loggerheads with each other, disagreeing on fundamental issues about their very being and identity as a people, to being able to forge a pact that seeks to accommodate the concerns of every segment of their society and putting together what they now call a rainbow nation. That is it's having its place with the rest of the world. So the experience served as an inspiration to us. Our years of activism here have afforded us the opportunity to meet with some of them and get to talk with some of their activists, and some of whom were key experts that participated in the workshop to share the experience with us. So we're very blessed, privileged to have them. A number of them agreed to take off their Easter weekend to come and tell us this is how we did it. These were some of the challenges that we faced, but this is how we found each other, and we are hoping that that would serve as an inspiration to each and every one of our people, wherever they're sitting around, to say that the togetherness that it requires to find a common, lasting solution requires everybody to sort of come and put their plow to the farm and put their hand to the table, and which for me, this particular leadership summit was special in terms of the fact that it was, for a very long time, one of the first initiatives that acknowledged the diversity of our views as a people, and the fact that did not only acknowledge the diversity of our views, but took it a step further to acknowledge the fact that in that diversity, we are all stakeholders. So there's no one who has a golden idea that feels that his perspective is superior, which I think was the uniqueness of this specific initiative, that sought to acknowledge the fact that there are some people who feel very strongly about the notion that we need to be, the only way forward for us to find a long-lasting solution is through total and complete independence. And it was refreshing to be able to sit around the table with people who held contrary views and express ourselves, hang on to our positions, try to persuade each other around common areas that we could find as working, and try over 2-3 days of interaction to forge a common vision for a road map ahead, taking cognizance of the differences that we do acknowledge. I think it was a great step in the right direction, just to be able to acknowledge that this is who we are. We acknowledge that we don't have the same points of view on a whole range of issues, but we do take cognizance of the fact that we have a common destiny. It's a common people, common nation, and we then have the responsibility to be able to start thinking about creative ways of managing the diversity that we represent. First of all, as a people, from the Southern Cameroons, and then secondly, as we conceive ways of charting our engagement with the rest of our brothers from across the Mongo, to be able to lay out, hopefully, drawing lessons from the South African experience, the construction of our own rainbow nation, that is multicolor, multidimensional, but inclusive, that takes into account the desires and the aspirations of each and every one of us in our diversity. And so that weekend, that's what it was for us. It was particularly refreshing having our brothers from the ground, like Reverend Ebai, because they gave those of us who have been out for a very long time fresh perspective on the ground about the reality of the common man on a daily basis. And it was very humbling for a number of us just to sit down and hear from them, not from a third party, but directly to share with us, these are our experiences, these are the realities. And I felt that it went a long way to shape our perspective as to how we started conceptualizing some of the solutions that we're putting forward as a way forward. So it was a great initiative. I think it was the first of its kind, and I think that it holds a lot of promise for permanent, long-lasting solutions to the problem moving forward.
We all will agree South Africa for one thing about our prisoners. May we not forget. And even before I want to get to that one, I think some other wisdom that becomes say this idea for the labeled person, say black leg, all this and that. May we know say as you talk, Reverend Ebai talk, person where if he give you water, no na your brother, no na only your sister. And may we know, and some people that they when they for government, we call them say unionists. May we not label anybody saying a black leg or throw stone for anybody, because as we see them now, civil society they get some work they for do. The clergy they get a work for do. Independentists, federalists, and unionists they get a lot. Person where you call them now saying a traitor. When once they turn off that line, now that person it will help you and you don't know. So we just as we do your own way, for specialize for your own angle. Not look the other person think say you would define that person and for make say you be better Southern Cameroonian or a good citizen than that other person. So when we talk amongst each other, communication, the thing where a unionist will tell you will be shocked. But when you block, you shut ye up, you don't shut a source of communication where it will make you see things bigger. I think listening to you and listening to Reverend Ebai, it don't open my mind in so many ways. Say if me and this talk say not only through war where we feel win this struggle, where we know if we ever win, and then another person bring another angle, say it look that. No blame that person when look and but listen, right? Anyway, before we round up some of the people when they're there for jail just because they mentioned that word, say federalism, just for mentioning that word. And that word it then now so it look like say it being a word where any man now they talk. And we say these people when they're there, so may we not forget them. We even give a task for our brother Barrister Bala. Say when he go to see these people, may bring we message and say may we do everything possible for support. I want for throw and for when way we'll be there for that place. So may wanna share the new thinking and talk to them whether they're for jail, so they would watch this with discussion, so that may they know say we never forget about them. Reverend Ebai.
If they agree, say we'll go for visit the people for prison, and we'll be consider even they put it for the prisons and for Manfi, for Bamenda, for Kumba, for Bengui, for all the other prisons. There are a lot of people who did in prison with ID card, arrested during RAF, all those things. We talk about the whole prison program, and the one they are only where they be for the main prisons. And I think Barrister Bala already get the program of the visit where they, I think by the end of the month, which is a good thing. And we the people for presidency, as we do the shift, we try to get into this leadership. Leadership to be even for prison. Me, I ever quote Nelson Mandela because I like Nelson Mandela's story. If for Nelson Mandela's story, when you read it, you see how he taught the shift from the violence to understanding of non-violence and how to engage people, even years before they come out for prison. So when they talk about the prisons today, so me they encourage everybody voice for be respected. And just like you talk, there is no black leg, there is no demon. There is just people with different opinions. And if we all agree that this is what we are, and we agree that we will take any victories where we see the victories. For Colombia, they call us territorial dialogues. They say we'll dialogue with anybody who can dialogue with us. So territories and small territories start to organize their own dialogues them for stop the violence against the FARC until FARC decide to come for table. But the EMF not still come for table. Not only FARC come for table, but they still go ahead and make a deal with the FARC. Wait till they say, I say, once we discover, say we must get our people talking. Even those in prison, they get for also give us that strength by joining their voices. For say we must talk together. We must allow everybody and every opinion to count. We must protect our people. You think so? Well, people do not like they put it in the prison. Now say just like Professor Gabila talk. If you go to referendum now, we put hotels they don't believe for no things out there because of the suffering they have gone through. So most of the people in prison, they've been neglected because the people don't tire because of the suffering so we put them through. So we get to change our mind, and the message we would give them a place, so we are praying for them, we deal with them in spirit, but make them too, they put out their own voices for this thing where they try for give people the credibility of the problems. We cannot take the Anglophone problem and conflict it and confuse it with the Anglophone conflict. There are two different things. The problems are there, but the conflict is a violence that we cannot sustain. So we have to go back to talking about the problems so that everybody can help and we build our people into a real solution, a real well-being. I know I'm calling and say for a lasting peace, because lasting peace is not lasting peace. We talk about a period where our people can have both peace, justice, and development. Because right now, they don't have none. There's no justice, there's no peace, there's no development in the rural areas. And we need our people to have those three things. That is their destiny and is their right. And if we continue for say we want to suffer our people because of one opinion or the other, then we don't fear the people. We all know the difference between Dr. King and Malcolm X. We all know how they both did remembered in history. So there's a time when you know, say, you are fighting for a long struggle. You don't start the shoot gun for that struggle because you know, see, your struggle getting a long-term solution. So you start building bridges of communication along the way, being open to talk to people who are willing to talk to you. I mean, I'll be there happy with the guy we call in for the meeting, and he was very direct as to our intentionality of non-violence and civilian protection. So yes, we will visit them and we'll continue to put our voices together. And I still repeat, for anybody who here we mean no say, we talk here as people they consent on the problems of their people. Not say, but I say we not agree on the fact say anybody go for die or shed blood, because if all we die today, this problem will end today. If you can't today declare a thing to year, there will be internal struggles for many, many years to come. Look at East Timor, look at South Sudan. The problems are long-term problems. So we go for long-term solutions. We go for be intentional and we go be methodic. We'll not go for the lost people along the way, not even losing quality people that can help in the conversations to come. And even people who are in the government, those are our allies in the room. They have access to the information that we do not. Would only procrastinate about, then they'll be in the meeting. So we get to fight for put our own people inside the room, so that when things are being discussed, we know that we have allies in the room. We have people who understand in the room. of that conversation.
You mentioned Malcolm X, where now a very good example. You know, after Malcolm X, he go make a comeback. Malcolm X become a different person. Prof, wait till you talk about our prisoners and Reverend Ebai, begin to think of one surprise, something about you that we don't know, that you will just close with it before I have my own too. So,
Right.
Prof, over to you.
No, I just agree, Reverend Ebai. We need to rebuild our solidarity as a people. And part of the ways that we need to rebuild that solidarity, that we recognize a whole lot of our brothers and sisters and be inside different prisons because of this crisis. The fact say they don't lose their liberty, they contribute in a very punitive way for help find solution for our people. Now their own price where they pay that a very heavy price, a price heavier than most of us are paying. So we not afford to ignore them, for leave them for place where they did, and for not take care of them while they live for that place. So we get two missions coming out of South Africa. We say make we one rebuild solidarity around our prisoners. Then make them know say we, make the rest of the world know say then they inside there now because of we, maybe because of personal crimes the way they commit them as individuals. Now, because say they get the audacity for hope say what people then feel experience and live a better life. So that they pay a price way, now a down payment for our own betterment. And I want therefore call on our own people the way they did on the ground and overseas. For say we could build solidarity around these people. I look forward to, as we come out of South Africa, as Reverend Ebai explained, we'll give Barrister Bala a mandate and the number of people in there for they say make them go conceive ways and way where intervention will be practicalized for alleviate some of in a very small way the pain where they put their face. If now there's small sabo if we buy small salt, small oil, you know, small airtime where it's possible, either way, small paracetamol for year, or make and say whether you're not for monthly prison or for whichever prison you did, make you receive something where it come from the diaspora or where it come from organized civil society, what church community them. You know, Jesus Christ is primary responsibility now for the downtrodden and the left out of society. Our traditional society and our rulers, our chief them, where they know say plenty of our picking them still they inside jail as a result of this crisis. When picking them make mistake, you must carry inside bad water, throw away the pikin and the water one time. So the pikin don't shit inside water and the water is smell very bad. We must move the pikin, put them for down, change the water, continue for wash. That problem will start fix and we don't take what pikin then go for jail. It never finish. While the problem the last, may we take care of our own. Now the one way the officials say we get solidarity as a people. May our church, our civil society, our NGOs, them, our people, them. If you go buy tomato, buy 2 tomato, keep 1. If you go buy rice, buy 2 kg, keep 1. If you go buy fish, buy 2 kilo, keep 1. Make our civil society and our church people them organize, start collect chop for these people, then collect medicine, then where they go give people them for prison for show them say we know so when they inside here that for make life for we for outside better. When we see that kind of solidarity start build among what the sky go be at the limit for way to accomplish as a people. Because we demonstrate and a very silent way of, I don't call them a silent protest, but a very peaceful, non-violent way for demonstrate say we agree or we recognize say the people that they suffer that because of we. When we organize ourselves better for take care of. That one are the one thing where we come out of South Africa for say make we start doing and doing with intentionality. Rebuild solidarity around the prisoners to take care of them while they are there, and then rebuild solidarity for the prisoners for make sure say whichever solution we one propose, whichever direction would come from, release of political prisoners now the first confidence building measures towards finding a solution. And one make and that one a centerpiece of the permanent solution. Like if I put up a permanent, long-lasting solution, get peace, justice, and development brought together. Peace, justice, and development. Now a permanent solution. And now why do we even get involved in this fight in the very first place? Because we conceive of a future of for our people the way they go live in peace, they get a right to organize and manage their development. And then justice, correcting the historical injustice, creating governance models the way they take care of our minority status. And then giving with the freedom for be able to release our creative juice them to develop ourselves. We'll not be tied down with the restrictions of which is a one person must don't inside some tall building for inside Yaoundé for decide which must happen inside Furawa. We don't want that one because we know say the principle of subsidiarity means say impact be most significant where it is felt. No reason no day why some person need for get for shit inside building for inside Yaoundé decide say make a change light bulb for my school for inside Bamboo because I like need to shine on your head. So that justice and that governance model where it take into account the well-being of the people in the furthermost part of the country. That's some of the kinds of things that I would look for. Say, make we continue to build solidarity, we continue to push the bar. For say we want an improved, our people's lives to be transformed. We want to live to our fullest potential. We want to make our people and be able to wake up, be proud of the country they be a part of. And this one, maybe some situation one or some two people that need for shooting for some side decide say, because now what people their aspiration and we deserve it. And we'll go work towards that one systematically till we get that permanent solution.
Thank you very much. Now I just want we not look at the screen, talk to we where we there for diaspora. And I want to thank you very much because now night time for you. Before I say anything else, I want to thank God because this recording, it don't just go smoothly the way He wanted. So
Amen.
as we wrap up now, I'll just give 1 minute. May you say anything to our listeners for this opportunity and give a big surprise where they don't know about you. But for me, I want to know mostly for people for home and out. Say 2 years ago, I run for city council here, and that one teach me a lot about politics. Even I did run against an incumbent in an area maybe 75% Asian, and the incumbent be an Asian. It beat me only by 100 votes. And guess who?
Wow.
My greatest supporters, now Asians, will be the meet now for night. Africans, they no one for support me. So now they most of them they not even a fine for love, but they not even want for sign. Maybe I be on the ballot. But Asians, they build my website, they do everything. I just said we Africans we really need for change. We own mentality. It's a mental issue now. And I'm surprised that we may get time. If you want to give your closing remark, just say something that about yourself that we don't know. From the base, right from here, Cameroon. Reverend,
yes.
Over to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you too for getting us who be for your program right away in America. I'm not be sure say this network hold. The Lord is really good. The network don't survive better than I thought. I want to thank Una for getting me on board and for share. And I want to share with the diaspora say, since the beginning of this conflict, the one thing where God don't give me the grace now say I don't work look for a peaceful solution, a non-violent solution. I not like the word peaceful solution. I prefer the word non-violent solution because peaceful solutions means say the solutions the video be any kind of it. Non-violent means you can still take tough solutions and tough strategies without killing people. And I want to talk say by the grace of God, I don't be able to forget these conversations across the world. The one thing where people don't know about me and say in the last 5 years, I work exclusively on this conflict where I never work for church. Where I mostly what I don't do for the last 5 years now for develop context and situational analysis of the conflict, propose entry points. I write a paper on how we deal with the past on the people. So my mission as a man.
Right down here, South Africa, here you are. If Reverend Ibai comes back, we'll get back to him.
Well, which you have to talk. I'm only for telling thank you for the opportunity again, Pa, and for thank you particularly for the work we do. I don't. Your videos they don't come in quite handy, and your videos they don't really come. They don't come for be very educative, and I just want to encourage you for continue for the work we do. One of the things the way I feel talk about myself, and now for just say I believe say I be one of the people where God sent them out of the country. At the time we send them out of the country, who can live inside the South African society, for such a time as this? Are they inside the 30-year-old version of a post-apartheid South African society? And it is sober me up when I realize I build an understanding of how much they fight, forget the kind of democratic constitution and country we then get them with the institution of 1994. And I woke up every day for the last almost 20 years for see a version of that society post-conflict. And it does shape and moderate my appreciation of our own challenge. Because a lot of people, they need to actually realize, say, the permanent solution we would ask for maybe the end. And actually the beginning of the real work that has to be done. And it really, when I think about them from that perspective, it humbles me. Because something that they will go see for inside this country where you will honestly ask yourself, I go Robben Island the other time, and when you go Robben Island, Nelson Mandela stayed for 27 years. Now, ex-political prisoners, they take you around. As they take you around, we'll stop at one point, we'll ask them the question. When you see the country, place where it is today, 30 years after democracy, what you feel about the value of una fight? You get any regrets? You'd ask yourself the question whether or not all the sacrifice be worth it. And now always a sober moment of reflection when we interview those political prisoners then. Because you realize, say, you do only fight, attain a certain level of victory, only for open up the door for a fresh set of challenges. And I feel say this what we struggle for do now, for learn how to solve our problem then. Now a skill where we go need them, and we go need to build into us a people for as long as our people that exist, for as long as our people them as a community carry. So make we not neglect them, because they no silver bullet, no day way we go release them and they go fix all our problem then. For perpetuity, we will need to learn to cultivate the ability for continuously reinvent ourselves, find solutions then for the problem we confront them. What generation get its own problem then? When we finish solve the one, we just create now a fresh set of problems to start with. That degeneration of our socioeconomic order, the insecurity, the number of guns the way they in circulation, one of the things we suffer for inside this country today, now the consequence of the armed conflict. Because for here, all man get gone. And so insecurity don't go through the roof. They don't solve one problem, create another one.
Yeah.
And they deal with them, on a day-to-day basis. So I just encourage my people and say, in the intensity of your passion, take a humble, sober, reflective approach. You don't get all the answers. And even after one or two of your answers that don't work, you go just realize you don't just solve now one or two equations and open up the door for 8 or 9. So make we cultivate that habit for continuously define answers then. Because the answers will not always be as simplistic as we feel imagine. If some person before ever tell you, say, this country, Nelson Mandela spent almost 30 years of the adult life for liberate them. They face the kind of challenges that we face and today. You go sorry Nelson Mandela, because you go some things you will see some certain that you ask yourself, say, that 27 years now, you forgot them by 4.
Yes.
You forgot them by 4.
Reverend, before you want to talk, finish your talk now.
One of the things people don't know about me, I don't be to 15 countries in the world.
Wow.
And strangely enough, I not immigrate for none of the countries.
Wow.
There is no one day. My family thinks that they crazy for believe, say, Cameroon get any future. But me, I believe deep down in my heart, say whatever solutions get for come for our people. Some of us get for stay here for help in those solutions. In the future, my children will also ask me, say, you didn't stay in America, you didn't go to Canada. Was it worth it?
I know one of your children is in Boston area here.
Yeah, my nephew, his graduation is tomorrow. He's graduating with his master's degree tomorrow at the Boston College. But like I said, I choose a path where I said we will sit here and try. And I think where we are now, this new wave of leadership thinking with people like Professor Gabila, Milan, and Gideon and other people coming up to discuss certain things, I think there is hope for us who stayed back so that we can trust the fact that if we can keep having this conversation, this mutual respect, I think we would start gaining ground in different ways. Gaining ground must not be one particular thing, but we can gain ground even by just our people beginning to trust the process again. So I thank you so much for this.
Well, on that note, I would like again to thank my viewers for being so patient. And I hope that you have enjoyed our discussion. And I would personally like to thank the delegation that came from Cameroon, the civil society, our clergy. You opened our eyes, and we know that this is work in progress. Rome was never built in a day. Our journey is long, and we will take it one step at a time. And I encourage everyone, if you have any ideas, please join the discussion. And if during this discussion we misspoke or said something that you didn't like, it's not intentional. Our hearts and mind are geared to say something that we truly believe in, and everything that we think about is to bring a very non-violent solution to our struggle, in the words of Reverend Ebai. So again, my name is Fru Nkimben, and zooming in from the tip of the mother continent, South Africa, is Professor Gabila Nubong, and from the motherland is Reverend Gustave Ebai from Cameroon.
Well, we can only say that we wish you two the best in your own America too. Everybody has their own issues. We wish you the best.
If you have to reach African Hour can be reached at African Hour 2023@gmail.com. And I hope it was really a good discussion. I enjoyed. I learned so much. And I do believe that he who holds the media controls the narrative. And if you don't write your own narrative, you allow someone to define who you are. And what we have just done, we are writing our own narrative, how we see it at this moment in time. And going forward, we invite all of us not only to throw stones, but join the discussion. And on that note, I will say so long and good night.